Alright, y'all. I forgot to do the video, so I'm doing it at work on a Friday night. I don't have a work laptop, so I had to write shit down on a sticky note. This isn't gonna be, like, my greatest effort here, but shout out to Spard for keeping me humble, reminding me to do this. You know, I respect Spard because he texted me individually. Instead of dragging my name through the mud, he kept it between us like real men do. There are a couple folks in the league that, you know, would have texted the group and run my name through the mud, disparaged my name as a commissioner. So respect to Spard for having a backbone. You know, usual culprits is usually Scott and Michael. I'm surprised they didn't say anything this week. So, but just hats off to Spard. Anyways, I don't have a computer. I wrote all this shit down on sticky notes. So I'm just gonna go over the games. You know what this is. I don't need to explain it to you. What week is it? I think last week was week 10. So this is week 10 recap vid. 6 games on the docket, clearly, because there's 12 players in the league. We'll start with my game with Scott. I get the win, 130.62 to 126.2. I remember it vividly. Monday night, I had Jalen Hurts. Scott had Devontae Smith. I can't remember if we had any other guys in. I had Goddard. It was looking, you know, pretty good for me going into the fourth quarter. And then Jalen Hurts threw that fucking bomb to Devontae. Not a very good pass. Devontae made the most out of it. Went up, made a good catch, scored a touchdown. And then I was sitting there perplexed, you know, is Scott going to beat me? But luckily, you know, it was pretty late in the game. He ran out of time, and I barely get the win against Scooter Shooters. I'll say Scott, you know, he's a grinder. You know, whether he's grinding on men or grinding in the standings, he is a grinder. So respect to him for almost knocking off the number 1 seed in the league. But it wasn't to be. Maybe it'll be your week in week 11. Going over to Beam versus Rocky, this was a beatdown of biblical proportions, one that Liam Gallagher would say is biblical. 161.84 to 103.82. Rocky continues to surge this season. He's had a great year. You know, he's kind of been in the dumps the last couple of seasons, but he's pulled himself up by the bootstraps. Just classic blue-collar fella. You know, I say this every time I make a vid. Just a classic blue-collar guy. Gotta love it. Gotta fucking love it. Much respect. Beam, been a tough year for Beam. He refuses to watch any movie made before 2004, and he continues to lose in fantasy because of it. So, you know, I'm going to keep sending you those recs, brother. Watch them. Vertigo, that's the one you got to watch. Let me know if you like it. I don't know the rosters of these teams because I don't have a computer to look at, and I can't use my phone, but I believe that Rocky has Lamar Jackson, who had a pretty decent game last week. Injury scare this week for Lamar, but he's going to play. So shout out to Rocky, another big-time win. Next game on the docket, we got Tahiti Tomahawks and Little Baked Bean. This one was closer than I thought it would be, to be honest with you. But alas, Tahiti gets the dub, 128.18 to 110.5. Been a stellar season for Tahiti. I'll say Cruz really loaded him up. Cruz loaded him up. He's got Drake London. Tahiti drafted McCaffrey. I mean, Drake London, of course, once Cruz trades him, has just been top 5 fantasy receiver, you know, all season long. He continues to just shit all over people's faces. I think he had 3 touchdowns last week, or maybe that was the week before. But looking at Spard's team, it's a dangerous one, and he's caught fire at the right time. So, honestly, I could really see Spard winning the league. He's got a league winner in McCaffrey, Drake London. Pretty sure he's got somebody else. He doesn't have Gibbs. I think Rocky has Gibbs, but he has somebody else at running back that's pretty good. It might be Breece Hall. I don't know, but good win for Spard. You know, Little Baked Bean, I don't know what to say at this point. You know, I kind of want to lay off a Little Baked Bean. I heard he's in last in the Dynasty League too, so I'm just going to lay off of him. I hope shit works out for you. I hope things get better for you, but yeah, it's just not been your year. I saw the text that you sent, I believe yesterday, about how You know, you're a two-time runner-up, and you know, people were expecting you to make the playoffs. Listen, brother, ain't nobody was expecting you to make the playoffs with that draft. That's all I'm gonna say. So while the text was kind of funny, it was inaccurate and not very factual, because I don't think anyone thought that. But maybe you get a win next week or this week or whatever week it is. But I don't know, man. Just a season to forget for you. You'll be back though. I believe in you, little baked bean. Next game, Kinley versus Luke. This one ended 150.7 to 101.4. Big time win for Kinley. He's catching a stride at just the right time. You know, he started 5-0, then got dog walked by me, yours truly, and then that just started an avalanche of L's being thrown at Kinbob. 3 in a row, I believe. 5-0 to 5-3, but the last 2 weeks he's really picked it up. He's got some guys back from injury. Egbuka's playing, you know, like he was for 7 weeks of the season. So I like Kinley's team. You know, some people are saying that it's a fraud. Some people are saying that. I actually spoke to someone recently. I won't name names, but they're very dead set on Kinbob being a fraud. I think these next, you know, last 4 weeks of the season will determine if that's true or not. But he's winning games at the right time. He's putting himself in a good position at 7-3. You know, who knows? I don't hate Kinley's team. I don't hate it. I wish I could look at it right now so I could go more in depth, but I don't hate it. Luke, I need to catch my breath. What's up? Luke, I mean, just not your year. Just not your year. I'll come out there in a second. Just not your year this year. You know, I don't know what else to say. I don't know if you've had injuries or not. I think you probably have. Usually you're up there at the top. It just doesn't make much sense this season. You know, Brian Thomas Jr., absolute bum. Huge bum alert. You know, he's a bigger bum than Nicki Minaj's bum, and she's got a massive fucking bum. Or even Megan Thee Stallion. Both have nice bums, but, you know, Brian Thomas Jr. is a bigger bum than both of them combined. So, I don't know. It's just been a bad season. I don't see you making the playoffs. But luckily, you know, you've done just enough to stay out of the conversation for last. So, I don't know. We'll see what you do next year. But I think after this loss, I think it's safe to write you off. I don't want to do it, but I did it. Next game, G-Man versus Gunboat. This one ended 139.92 to 115.5. Another win for G-Man. Another team that I could see winning the league. Him, myself. Rocky's got a good squad. Spardella obviously could win the league. People are saying Kinley's a fraud, but he's 7-3. Maybe he could do it. G-Man's another one of those guys that I think, you know, after the DeMar Hamlin situation, you know, maybe he deserves it. You know, I can't help that somebody died on the field, and now my fucking championship has an asterisk next to it, but whatever. He gets the win against fucking Gunboat. Who does G-Man have? I don't even fucking know, dude. I don't know, but I know it's a solid squad. I'm the only, you know, he's the only one that's beaten me, so another good win from G-Man. Wish I could say more, but I don't have enough info in front of me other than your record and your name. So, Gunboat, I think as a unit, as a collective unit, we should just ban Matt Cruz from taking any Jets players in the fantasy draft. This is like a yearly issue. Every year he just takes a Jets player, multiple Jets players, and then he sits there and he's like, I wonder why I'm in 11th. I feel like I know why Cruz is in 11th, but I don't want to harp on it too much. It's been a tough year for Gunboat. I've got a lot of admiration for the boy, but it's just not working out for him. So he made a couple of trades to try and save his season. He's still not in last, but he's only 1 game ahead of Pirelli. So, I don't know. Pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Next game, this was a hotly contested matchup and a must-win for Ethan, which he did win, 129.3 to 124.64 against Michael. Ethan's kind of, you know, he's a dog kind of, you know. I like his team theme, you know, every week. You know, he's just switching out the mascots. I actually pulled the Yahoo fantasy website up at my desk today on my desktop. And I forgot that Ethan's profile picture is Denise Richard fully nude, just fully nude. And I'm sitting next to folks at work, and I'm like, oh, I forgot that was there. So I had to turn that off real quick. But he's won 2 in a row. He was in the conversation for last, but he's starting to create separation. I think if he can get one more win, he should be fine. Michael, just another one of those teams, just like Luke, just like Beam, just not much going on. Like you're not good enough to be taken seriously, but you're not dog shit enough to get pissed on, you know? So it's like, you're kind of just there. You're like Urkel, you know, but less nerdy, I guess. I don't know. I don't know even what I'm talking about. But, you know, very close. Could have gone either way, but Ethan gets the dub. The dub. Let's take a look at the standings. Here they are. You know who's in 12th? Rello at 1 and 9. Matt's at 2 and 8. Ethan at 3 and 7. In 10th. And 9th, we've got, I can't even read my own damn handwriting. We got Luke at 4 and 6. Maybe Puka saves your season. I don't know. Probably not. In 8th, we've got Hunter Perry Beam at 4 and 6. 7, Michael, 4 and 6. And in 6th, Scott at 5 and 5. That's the cutoff for the playoffs. Scott currently has that spot. Now that I'm looking at the standings, I might erase my write-off on Luke because he's only 1 game out. This is going to be the most interesting part of the season. 6, 7, 8, and 9. Only 1 game separates 7, 8, and 9 from 6. So it really could go either way. I kind of just favor Scott just because I think he has a better team than the rest of these guys. But, you know, he's only 1 game ahead. Anything can happen. You know, we could see Michael squeeze in. We could see Beam or Luke, maybe even Ethan. Maybe even Ethan. How sick would that be? You know, he runs the table and he gets in. He needs a lot to happen above him, but he's not fully out of this yet. I think that the fact that the 5 teams ahead of the rest of the dross that I just listed out are so elite, it creates that conundrum from 5 to 10. You know, big words, conundrum, word of the day. So I don't know what's going to happen there. It's going to be interesting to see. This is a very important week, so we'll see what happens. In 5th, we got Kim Bob, who's, again, firing on all cylinders at just the right time at 7 and 3. Spardella in 4th. Very well could be 1. Very well could beat me this week, too. 3 is G-Man at 7 and 3. 2 is Rocky at 7 and 3. We got 4 teams at 7 and 3, which I don't think is very common. So we got some juggernauts up at the top. But then you got me alone at 9 and 1, which I just feel like I'm Luke this season. Luke is usually always a regular season winner, Peyton Manning type of guy, then goes into the playoffs and Brady shits on his neck. So I'm kind of nervous being at 9 and 1 and at number 1. I might get bounced second round. I have the bye and then lose to somebody in the second round. It's the most likely scenario. Okay. Last sticky note. We're going to pick some winners here for week 11. First game, we'll just start with mine and Spard's. Battle of the heavyweights. Battle of the boys. Spard's the boy. Dapt. He's got a hot start on me right now. You know, Diggs had a good game last night. I have Diggs in my other league, so I was kind of conflicted. Every time Diggs caught a pass, I was like, and I was like, oh, you know, I was like busting it up when you don't want to. He's up 20. I said that very loud. Is there anything over here? I don't think they heard that. I hope not. Spard's up 27-0 right now. I've got a lot of work to do. You know, I don't have Jonathan Taylor this week, so obviously having him is, you know, the main reason I'm where I'm at. Devontae Adams is good to go. Just saw that tweet from Shefty, so that's great. I just don't see myself beating Spard. The projections, the last time I looked at them, were pretty lopsided. I just think Spard has a killer team, and he did it through trades, and you know, maybe I should have vetoed those trades because it's coming back to bite me. Spard is a scary team, so I usually always pick myself, but I'm just gonna be for real here for once and say that I don't think I win this game. We'll give Spard the dub. Next game is Beam versus Scott. Huge game for both these guys. This will have a huge uproar in the standings no matter where this goes. If Scott gets the win, he pulls further ahead and puts Beam in the dirt. But if Beam wins, they're both now 5 and 6, and the door is wide open. And I love I fucking love when the door is wide open. So I'm gonna pick Beam. I want to see it. I need that. I need 2 5-6 teams fighting for the playoffs in the last 3 weeks. So I'm gonna take Beam to win this one. I don't have a score for you. I'm gonna say Beam wins. He's gonna win 225-78. It's gonna be a fucking beatdown. Give me Beam. Next game on the docket is Kinley versus Gunboat, I believe that says. Is that G-Man or Gunboat? That's Gunboat. Kinley versus Matt. I'm going to take Kinley. I just think he has a better team. He's also already up by like 50 points, I believe. So I was about to say Ramondre Stevenson, but it isn't. Travion Henderson. 2 great weeks in a row. Is he RB1? I think he should be. New England are sick. I love the Pats. You know, Vrabel at head coach, fucking Drake May slinging the pill, Diggs. Diggs is just a great role model. You know, find me a better role model than Stephon Diggs. I'll give you $5. I don't think you can. Yeah, give me Kinley. I just think he just keeps riding the wave. You know, he's on a roll. So give me Kinley. Gunboat. I don't know, dude. Rocky versus Luke. You know, just because I want that like 4-way tie for the 6th spot, I'm picking Luke to win this game. Will that happen? I don't know. I like Rocky's team, but give me Luke to win this one. You know, upset alert. Give me Luke to put him at 5 and 6. Rocky will go a little bit down the standings, but not too much. And then we'll have a 3-way tie because Beam is going to beat Scott, and we'll have 3 5-6 teams. A door wide open. Next game is Ethan versus G-Man. All the great things I said about Ethan, I stand by, but I don't see him winning this game. I think G-Man wins this one. I just don't have much to add. I do respect you, Ethan, though, for staying in it, fighting till the end, showing a little bit of grit. You know, there's some guys in here that feel like they've just given up, but you haven't. You were 1 and 7, now you're 3 and 7. You know, respectable. But I'm gonna go G-Man. And then the last game, Michael versus Pirelli. Is that all the games? I think it is. Who did I miss? I don't think I missed anybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this is the last game. Michael versus Rello. I'm picking Michael just because Michael's team is better, and Pirelli hasn't shown me anything all year to make me feel like I should pick him. So Michael wins. Pirelli drops to 1 and 10. I don't know the record for worst record of all time in this league, but Pirelli is a seriously hot contender for that title. I think I might bring back the shit trophy for last place, so I can't wait to mail Pirelli a trophy of dog shit, because that's what he is. Well, he's a good guy, but his team is dog shit. But, you know, that's it. That's all I got for y'all. You know, I hope you guys have wishing you luck on your week 11 games. Hope you all have a good weekend. Go see the new Predator movie. Pretty damn good. I'm gonna wrap this up. I got people staring at me. They're like, hey, this guy's talking to his phone. What's he talking about? But sayonara. Peace and love.